Good morning, my fellow well-read, knowledgeable, up-to-date patriots. You know, that Democratic Party mouthpiece, CNN, has this to say. This Mo Brooks statement is everything that is wrong with our politics. Well, CNN, everything that is wrong with our politics has to do with the fact that the news is so biased. They refuse to identify what the real problems are or even properly quote somebody. So first, let's take a look at this article, at least a little bit. It starts out, a man claiming to have a bomb and demanding that all Democrats need to step down, shut down Capitol Hill for most of Thursday. The incident brought statements of concern from a majority of Democrats and Republicans, with many citing the episode as evidence that security in wake of the January 6th Capitol riot needs to remain a priority. What? There was one riot on January 6th. And since then, Washington, D.C. has been locked down tight. Now, if you remember all of 2020's, a lot of Democratic cities, Portland and Seattle in particular, Chicago another one, hell, we can go on for up and down Detroit. Oh, go on and on. Anyway, there were riots throughout the country in 2020, and the Democrats, they keep on pointing to one riot where the only person killed was a white woman shot by a black police officer. That was the only death during the riot, and as best can be determined, she wasn't even the target of the policeman. She was hit by a stray bullet. Man, did I go on a rant there, didn't I? Anyway, let's get on to this partial quote from Alabama Republican Mo Brooks. Sadly, violence and threats of violence targeting America's political situations are far too common. Nothing wrong with that part of the statement. Although this terrorist motivation is not yet publicly known, and generally speaking, I understand citizen anger directed at dictatorial socialism and its threat to liberty, freedom, and the very fabric of society. The way to stop socialism's march is for patriotic Americans to fight back in the 2022 and 2024 elections. And CNN is trying to say that this partial Twitter quote is somehow bad. What this statement is saying is that Mo Brooks is not encouraging violence. He is saying this is the wrong way to vent your anger. The way to vent your anger is to get out there and vote in 2022 and 2024 elections. You think I'm wrong? Let's take a look at the entire quote. I'm aware of the Capitol bomb threat. I'm monitoring the situation. I am in Alabama. My Washington staff is accounted for and safe. I pray for the safety of Capitol Police and first responders on the scene in Washington. This is what CNN forgot to include. They did not want to include the part where Representative Mo Brooks shows support for the Capitol Police and first responders in Washington, D.C. Now let's get on to the part that they do quote. Sadly, violence and threats of violence targeting America's political institutions are far too common. You see, he is saying don't do it. Although this terrorist's motivation is not yet publicly known, there he goes, he's identifying this person as a terrorist. He's not supporting him in any way. And generally speaking, I understand citizenry anger directed at dictatorial socialism and its threat to liberty, freedom, and the very fabric of American society. The way to stop socialism's march is for patriotic Americans to fight back in the 2022 and 2024 elections. I strongly encourage patriotic Americans to do exactly that, more so than ever before. Bluntly stated, America's future is at risk. Bravo, Mo Brooks, for not kowtowing to the socialist propaganda party mouthpiece that is CNN and Twitter. By the way, Mo Brooks, how would it be surprised if, like President Trump, you're soon thrown off of Twitter? Maybe it's time to move over to Minds.